Hello everybody, welcome to The Book Club. Today we are going to see the summary of the book, The Immortals of Meluha. The Immortals of Meluha is the first book in the Shiva Trilogy by Indian author Amish Tripathi. The book is set in ancient India and is based on Indian mythology, with a focus on the character of Lord Shiva. Chapter 1. The book opens with the introduction of the protagonist, Shiva, a Tibetan immigrant who lives as a nomad in the mountains. He is portrayed as a fierce warrior who has been trained in the art of war. Shiva is disturbed by a recurring nightmare and is convinced that it holds some meaning. Chapter 2. The story then moves to the city of Meluha, which is believed to be a perfect land, free from disease and war, ruled by the Suryavanshis, who are descended from Lord Ram. We are introduced to the people of Meluha and their culture. We learn about the samras, a drink that is believed to grant immortality to the people who consume it. Chapter 3. Shiva is invited to Meluha by the royal family, who believe him to be their savior, the Nilkanth. According to prophecy, the Nilkanth is a blue-throated man who will help the Suryavanshis defeat their enemies, the Chandravanshis. Shiva is skeptical but eventually decides to go to Meluha to see if he can find any answers to his recurring nightmare. Chapter 4. Shiva arrives in Meluha and is welcomed by the royal family. He is introduced to King Daksha, who explains to him the significance of the Samras and the need for a savior to help the Suryavanshis defeat their enemies. Shiva is hesitant to believe in the prophecy but eventually agrees to help the Suryavanshis. Chapter 5. Shiva is introduced to Brahaspati, the chief scientist of Meluha, who has been studying the effects of Samras on the human body. Brahaspati tells Shiva about the dangerous side effects of Samras and its potential to cause addiction. Chapter 6. Shiva meets Sati, the daughter of King Daksha, who becomes his love interest. Sati is drawn to Shiva's honesty and bravery. Shiva learns about Sati's role in the society and her admiration for the Suryavanshis. Chapter 7. Shiva is taken to meet the Council of Meluha, where he meets the various leaders of the society. He is introduced to the concept of the Naga, a tribe of people who are considered outcasts and are believed to be in league with the enemy, the Chandravanshis. Chapter 8. Shiva is given a tour of the city and learns about the various technologies and innovations that are used in Meluha. He is surprised to find that the people of Meluha live in an almost utopian society, where everyone is treated equally and there is no poverty or crime. Chapter 9. Shiva meets Veer, a brave warrior who becomes his ally. Veer teaches Shiva about the art of war and the tactics used by the Suryavanshis to defeat their enemies. Chapter 10. Shiva attends a ceremony where he is officially recognized as the Nilkanth. He is given a task to prove his worthiness as the savior of the Suryavanshis. Chapter 11. Shiva sets out on a mission to rescue a group of people who have been kidnapped by the Chandravanshis. He and his allies, including Veer and Sati, engage in a number of battles with the enemy. Chapter 12. Shiva learns more about his own powers and his connection to the Nilkanth prophecy. He also discovers that his recurring nightmare is linked to his destiny as the Nilkanth. The chapter ends with a dramatic cliffhanger, setting the stage for the next set of chapters. Chapter 13. Shiva and his allies continue their battle against the Chandravanshis. They learn about the Chandravanshis' secret weapon, the Nagas, who are feared and considered to be immortal. Shiva is surprised to learn that the Nagas are not evil as he had been led to believe. Chapter 14. Shiva and his allies travel to the city of Swadip, where they meet the leader of the Chandravanshis, Lord Ram, who is considered to be a traitor by the Suryavanshis. Shiva is shocked to learn that Lord Ram is not a villain but a wise leader who seeks peace between the two tribes. Chapter 15. Shiva is captured by the Chandravanshis and is taken to the land of the Nagas. He learns more about the Nagas and their culture. He also meets Kali, a Naga who becomes his ally and helps him understand the mysteries of the Nagas. Chapter 16. Shiva learns about the powerful weapon possessed by the Nagas, the Brahmastra, which can cause destruction on a massive scale. He also learns about the legend of the Mahadev, a powerful deity who can control the Brahmastra. Chapter 17. Shiva meets the Queen of the Nagas, who reveals to him the truth about his past and his connection to the Nagas. She tells him that he is the son of the previous ruler of the Nagas, who had abandoned him as a child. Shiva is shocked and confused by this revelation. Chapter 18. Shiva returns to Meluha and tells the Suryavanshis about the Nagas and their culture. He also tells them about the Brahmastra and the need for the Mahadev to control it. The Suryavanshis agree to help Shiva in his quest to become the Mahadev. Chapter 19. Shiva and his allies travel to the land of the Brangas, where they learn about the process of becoming the Mahadev. Shiva undergoes a painful and dangerous process, which ultimately leads to his transformation into the Mahadev. Chapter 20. Shiva returns to Meluha as the Mahadev, and he is welcomed by the people with great joy and celebration. He is given the responsibility of controlling the Brahmastra, and he promises to use it only when necessary. Chapter 21. Shiva faces new challenges as the Mahadev. He learns about the treacherous plans of some of the Suryavanshis, who seek to use the Brahmastra for their own gain. He also faces opposition from some of the Nagas, who believe that he is not worthy of the title of Mahadev. Chapter 22. Shiva travels to the land of the Nagas to seek their help in defeating the Chandravanshis. He meets Kali, who helps him understand the secrets of the Nagas and their connection to the Chandravanshis. Chapter 23. Shiva learns about the true enemy of the Suryavanshis and the Chandravanshis, a group of people called the Samrasis, who seek to control the world through the use of Samras. He also learns about the role of the Nagas in the fight against the Samrasis. Chapter 24. Shiva and his allies face their biggest challenge yet, as they battle the Samrasis and their army of demons. The battle is intense and leads to the death of many of Shiva's allies. Chapter 25. The book ends with Shiva emerging victorious in the battle against the Samrasis. He is hailed as a hero by the people of Meluha and is given the title of Mahadev by the Suryavanshis. Shiva is still conflicted about his role as a leader and worries about the future of Meluha. Chapter 26. Shiva returns to the city of Devagiri, where he reunites with Sati, who had been captured by the Chandravanshis during the battle. They are happy to be together again, but their happiness is short-lived as they face new challenges. Chapter 27. Shiva learns about the corruption within the Suryavanshi government and the influence of the Brahmins, who use their power to manipulate the people for their own gain. He also learns about the plight of the lower castes, who are discriminated against and treated unfairly. Chapter 28. Shiva decides to take action against the corrupt system and the discrimination against the lower castes. He forms an alliance with the Nagas and the Brangas, who also face similar issues, and they work together to bring about change. Chapter 29. Shiva faces opposition from the Brahmins, who do not want to give up their power and influence. He also faces opposition from some of the Suryavanshis, who fear change and are loyal to the old ways. Chapter 30. Shiva and his allies launch a revolution to overthrow the corrupt government and bring about a new era of equality and justice. The revolution is bloody and brutal, but they are eventually successful in their mission. Chapter 31. Shiva is crowned as the king of Meluha, and he implements a new system of governance that is fair and just for all. He also introduces new laws and regulations that protect the rights of the lower castes. Chapter 32. Shiva faces new challenges as the king of Meluha. He learns about a new threat, the Tamraps, who are a group of people from the north who seek to invade and conquer Meluha. Chapter 33. Shiva and his allies prepare for battle against the Tamraps. They develop new strategies and alliances to face the enemy, and they work tirelessly to protect their people. Chapter 34. The book ends with the start of the battle against the Tamraps. Shiva and his allies are ready to fight, and they are determined to protect Meluha at all costs. The future is uncertain, but they are ready to face whatever challenges come their way. The Immortals of Meluha is a fascinating and thought-provoking read that will appeal to fans of Indian mythology, epic fantasy, and adventure stories. The book's exploration of complex themes and its engaging characters make it a standout work of fiction. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please find the buying link in description. Like, share and subscribe to be notified. Happy reading!